So in our previous examples, we've seen the insert command, which is an SQL command to input data that we use the Python execute command from SQLite to send in information. We also saw the update command in SQL using both SQL image. So if you recall, the cars were updated, again, using the question mark as input for binary data. In that case, we had no space, or space rather, after the question, after the input value, after the comma. But in the case of the SQL entry, or rather this SQL example extract, we put in two values in relation to the question marks that were used for the update command in SQL. Now we want to extract what we actually have in the database in terms of the image. So how do we do that? So if you go to extract image.py, that module, you will see that here, if we go to line 34, which is the first line that's actually read in this, again, we'll see that the database is connected, test.db. We get the cursor. So we're getting a database that should be already in our code, so in the SQL. So if we update this, we'll see test.db. So refresh, you should see it. There it is. So we'll connect, we'll get that database, we'll get the cursor of it, we'll execute a select command, that is select or find the image effectively, from cars where ID equals 7. So here we're hard coding the value 7. Again, I could give it a question mark if I want to use as or dynamic input, or kind of input that comes from the data that I'm holding on the Python side. We could do that if we wanted to, but in this case, I'm just hard coding it to the value 7. You could of course create a text from Python itself and use it as an input here as well. You can then of course fetch the data. So fetch 1 means instead of fetching all, you just get one output. And then you write the image. So now we're going to get the binary code and write it into an actual image file. And so that calls the method writeImage. And you can see writeImage here is just once again opening a file stream. So we're going to call it car.jpg. And it's WB. So we're going to write out the binary data. And then we're going to write that data here. So the binary data are added to the fout write command that you see in line 22. And then the rest is basically catching the error, the IO, input-output error, and then finally basically closes that file stream. So you need to close the file to break the connection. So we're going to do that as well in line 30 and 31. So let's run this and see what basically happens. And that's pretty much all that's really happening here. The rest is basically exception and close, basically closing the file streams, an exception to any input and output handling that's going on, or connection to the database. So let's run it and see what happens. So again, nothing you see in terms of the text output on the console, but if we refresh this, we should see a car.jpg file. So we've created a JPEG file. We try to open it now, and there it is, their Hummer picture. You can see it looks exactly like our input data. So if we open the other Hummer image, we see that's the same image. So in both cases, we have a car, the same image of the same car. In one case, we inputted that data. In the other case, we've now outputted that data.